Oh my god! Oh, fuck.
Alright boys and girls, I hope you're having a lovely day. Okay, today guys, I'm going to be talking about the Tomb Raider games. I've been playing the absolute crap out of this series. I've never really been like a big Tomb Raider fan. It's kind of like a recent thing. I played the reboots back in the day, but that was literally it. I did have the original when I was a little whippersnapper, you know, like when I was a little kid, but I just didn't really get into it. It was just way too difficult, and I sucked at games as a kid. I mean, I'm not great at games now, but I was really bad. I didn't really get into gaming properly until like the PS2 era, so yeah, the PS1 wasn't really like, you know, I had games that I enjoyed on it, but yeah, Tomb Raider just, it was way too crazy hard. I was stuck in like the very beginning of that game. Yeah, a few months ago I decided I was going to play Anniversary, and I just adored it. I had such a good time, and ever since then I just can't stop playing Tomb Raider games. I've just been playing the hell out of them. So yeah, I figured I'd make a whole video kind of just talking about my love for these games, and you know, there's some things that I like and dislike about some of them, so yeah, I just thought I'd go through them. But yeah, before we dive into it guys, I do have a cheeky little Amazon package, so if you guys are interested in Tomb Raider, then stick around to the end of the video because I will be opening this bad boy up. Anyway then boys, let's start off with the one that we started off playing, and that was of course Tomb Raider Anniversary. So yeah, I picked this one up pretty recently. It was definitely this year, it was early on in the year, and I picked it up from CEX for just £5. At the time the Tomb Raider Remastered trilogy had come out, and I was seeing a lot of gameplay footage, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of good, that looks like something I'd enjoy, but it was quite expensive because it had not long been out, at least physically. So I remember seeing this one in CEX for just £5, and I thought, you know what, let's give this one a go, because I've not played any of the Tomb Raider games, and I also noticed that it had 9 out of 10 from PlayStation Magazine, so I thought, well, it's probably a good one to start with. I've heard that, oh, what's it called now? It's on the PS2. Is it Angel of Darkness or something? I've heard that one is not very good, so yeah, I just figured this one was good because of the 9 out of 10, and yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Apparently, it's a remake of the original game. I don't know how faithful or unfaithful it is, but I very much enjoyed it. And the game is fairly modern, like surprisingly so. Like if you go back and play a lot of PS2 games, they're really fun. I love the PS2, it's literally my favorite console of all time, but the difficulty spikes on a lot of these like PS2 games is crazy, and they're not very nice when it comes to checkpoints and that sort of thing. A lot of times you'll be playing a level, and if you die you gotta play like the whole level again, that sort of thing. With Tomb Raider Anniversary, you get checkpoints really regularly, so I was surprised about that. On top of that as well, like the climbing in this game is very similar to sort of like Uncharted. It feels like it kind of belongs on the PS3, very ahead of its time. I think graphically this game looks pretty damn solid for a PS2 game. I think it's aged pretty good in that department. You can also get this game in HD if you buy the HD trilogy on PS3 and 360, so I'm guessing it's going to look even better if you do that. But yeah, in my opinion, the PS2 version plays really well. It's super smooth, it's super fun. If I had like one critique with this game, I would say that it just kind of lacks in the action department. Bear in mind that the only Tomb Raider games I'd played at this point were the reboot games, and those games are filled with just violence and action. So yeah, when I started playing this one, I was surprised at how like much the puzzles and the climbing was like kind of like the main feature here. The action would sort of took a bit of a backseat, and when you do get to do action in this game, it's pretty awesome. You fight a lot of animals in this game. There's a lot of like, I don't know, just weird animals. I say weird, they're not weird, but you just kind of don't expect to see certain animals. Like you'll fight gorillas in this game just because they don't like Lara for whatever reason. And yeah, you fight dinosaurs and things like that. Like you just kill a lot of animals in this game, so yeah, that's kind of like the thing. You do fight some like humans in this game, but yeah, for the most part you are just beating the shit out of fucking creatures and what have you. But yeah, you don't really get to do a lot of that. Like there really isn't a ton of action in this game. Like I said, it is mostly puzzles, but they're good puzzles, alright, so that's not really a bad thing. I found them on the easier side. It wasn't too challenging. I didn't really have to look up walkthroughs and that sort of thing. I just very much enjoyed this game. So yeah, after that boys, I decided that I was going to play Tomb Raider Legend, and I have to say, this might be my favourite Tomb Raider game because it is just perfect. It plays quite similarly to Anniversary, but it just ups it in the action department, so I feel like you just get everything in this game. The puzzles are fantastic, the platforming is great, the action is 10 out of 10 in this game. There's some incredible sections as well when you're on motorbikes in this game. Like there's a bit in this game when you're on a rooftop with a motorbike. I freaking loved that. There's also just a lot more you can do in terms of the action. Like like you can jump on people and shoot them, that sort of thing. It's just really awesome to actually sit and play this game. It was really ahead of its time. I also really enjoyed the story to this one. I love the characters. It's just genuinely a perfect game. If I had to think of like one critique I have with this game, and I do have to dig pretty damn deep because like I said, I genuinely think this is a damn near perfect game. The one problem I had is its length. It's really, really, really short. Anniversary took me about a week to beat, which, you know, isn't exactly like a long game, but I finished Legend in about 2 days, and part of that is the fact that I just enjoyed it so much I didn't want to turn it off, but it is a very short game anyway. I wish this game was longer, man, because it was so much fun, and I felt like it had a perfect balance of everything. I feel like the later games and like the reboots are a bit too on the action, you know, there's not really that many puzzles and they're very easy to solve. They also kind of dumbs down the climbing sections, so you don't really get a lot of that in the newer ones, but I feel like with Anniversary it's almost too much puzzles and too much climbing stuff. With Legend though, you just get everything and it's so much fun to play. Like there's even a bit in this game where you end up getting Excalibur, it's towards the end of the game, and you are just wrecking people, and it was just having such a great time with it. I nearly forgot to mention as well, I picked this game up for £2.50 at CEX. I mean, that is just ridiculous. Considering games nowadays are costing you, I mean, I would say 70 quid, but they're going up in price, boys, alright? The pricing of games these days is just ridiculous. The fact that you pick up a game that is this good for £2.50 is just crazy. Believe me, if every single game that came out today was even half as good as this one, I wouldn't mind paying, you know, 80 odd quid for a new game. But yeah, most games that come out are pretty mediocre if I'm being honest. But I cannot say the same about Tomb Raider Legend. What a fantastic game, and the fact that it's called Legend as well, it's damn right, this game is legendary. Alright then guys, so the next one I ended up playing was Tomb Raider Underworld, and I actually started playing Underworld immediately after finishing Legend, because like I said, this literally took me 2 days, and I was like, I still had that itch to play Tomb Raider games because I enjoyed it so much, so I figured I'd play Underworld. I picked this one up at a car boot sale for 50p. It comes in a pretty nice sleeve, you know, it's just like a cardboard sleeve. I mean, for 50p, I can't really complain, but it is a little bit battered. It's definitely been used. Annoyingly, it is supposed to come with like a bonus disc. I don't really know what that's supposed to be. It's probably like a CD soundtrack or something, but unfortunately, it's not there. But again, for 50p, I can hardly complain. But yeah, I have to be totally honest with you guys. I was very, very disappointed with Underworld. It was definitely a drop-off from Legend. For one, the action has definitely been scaled down. Not as much as Anniversary. There's still more action in this one, but it's definitely more focused on the puzzles and the platforming again, which I don't mind because I do really like the platforming and the puzzles in these games, but I just felt like Legend had that perfect balance, and I feel like this game shifted more towards the puzzles and stuff. But yeah, the reason I didn't really like this one as much, to be honest with you, is just how it felt very rushed. It felt a bit undercooked is the word I'd use. This game is very like buggy at times. I come across a lot of really bad glitches in this game. The camera control in this game is just really janky and horrendous. It just doesn't feel right, and it doesn't make sense as well because this is meant to be a PS3 game, you know? You'd expect it to play better than the PS2 versions, but it couldn't be further from the truth. And this game feels very unpolished and incredibly janky to play, so I wasn't a fan of that. But yeah, coming back to those glitches, so there's some terrible glitches in this game. I remember playing through the Mexico level, and that level just in general just nearly made me give up on this whole game because I hated it so fucking much. But yeah, there's a glitch where you have to do this puzzle, but it's like timed, and I can't quite describe exactly why it fucked up, but basically if you don't get to this certain bit in time, there's not really any way of going back. Even if you like jump off a cliff and die, you know, and like restart from the nearest checkpoint, you can't go back. You actually have to go back to a manual save in order to sort of undo the glitch because you get locked out of this tomb. It's just really bad for like a game that's, you know, it's not like a budget-y game. Like, this is fucking Tomb Raider, for goodness sake. Thankfully, I did actually have a manual save, so I didn't have to go back too far. I only had to redo like 10 minutes of gameplay, but the fact that that's in this game is really bad. But yeah, I just didn't like the way the platforming felt in this game at times. It just, again, feels really twitchy, it feels really buggy, it just feels unfinished, and I didn't like that. And even further than that, boys, you've got all of the crashes I had in this game. I probably had about 3 hard crashes and had to restart the whole console. It's just abundantly clear that this game didn't get the time it deserved. They probably were pushed to like make this game super quickly, and yeah, it was just underbaked. But yeah, what's annoying about this game is when it does work, when it's not being annoying, when it's not being glitchy and buggy and things like that, the game's actually really good. I'd say the final third of this game is actually really good. Like, I actually quite enjoyed the final third. The mission after the Mexico level, I can't remember what it's called or where it is, but it was really good. I just remember the platforming feeling actually somewhat decent. The puzzles were actually very good. There's a level after that one that's very action heavy, and you have this like Thor hammer. I can't remember what it's called now. Is it Mjolnir or something like that? But yeah, you get the Thor hammer and you start whooping some ass. That's really, really fun. So yeah, the final third of this game is actually pretty damn decent. It's the most fun I had with this game, because like I said, once I was in the Mexico level, I nearly just stopped playing the game entirely. If it had a little bit more time and it was a bit more polished, I probably would have really enjoyed it, but it just under-delivered in my opinion. And that brings us to our final game then, fellas, and that is going to be Tomb Raider Reboot. So I've played this game before, but I wanted to replay it again, mostly because I didn't enjoy my time with Underworld, and I just wanted to play something Tomb Raider that was actually good, and I knew this one was good because I remember liking it a lot. And yeah, it's not a perfect Tomb Raider game. There's a lot of things about this game that I can understand why people don't like, you know, especially if you're like an OG Tomb Raider fan from like the old days. I can fully understand if you don't like this game, but personally, I actually really enjoyed this one, and I did sort of briefly talk about it earlier, the fact that it's very action heavy, and yeah, that's definitely the case here. Alright, this game is pretty much all action. There is, again, some puzzles, but they are just so incredibly easy that, I mean, it's just like literal, it just feels like filler. They could take it out and you'd miss nothing. This game is a full-blown shooting game, alright? It's basically Uncharted, but just way more violent and visceral, which is all good for me, boys. I love violence, and I love Uncharted, so that's all good. But yeah, the weapons feel really good in this game. I love the shotgun, I love the assault rifle, the bow and arrow is super overpowered, which is good. There's not really a ton of weapons. You only really get like 4 weapons in the game, one of which is the pistol and is kind of useless. Thankfully, the game's not super long, so you won't get bored with the combat, even though there isn't a ton of weapons. Yeah, when it comes to like the platforming in this game, it's incredibly basic. It literally is rip and paste straight from Uncharted. They just copied the crap out of it. It's not bad or anything, but it's kind of mindless. You don't have to put a lot of thought into it, whereas with Underworld, Legend, and Anniversary, you really did have to think about where you were going to jump, you know, it wasn't abundantly obvious. With this game, the way that the colours are, you just know exactly where to climb at all times. It's very obvious, you don't have to think. The story to this game was pretty good. I very much enjoyed the majority of the characters, and I liked the progression of Lara. Like, she starts off super shit, and by the end of the game, she becomes pretty damn, you know, capable. I will say I wasn't a huge fan of the voice acting in this game. It was a bit off-putting at times. I just felt like, especially in those emotional moments, it just didn't quite deliver for me. I also found it a bit jarring when you get your first kill in this game. They kind of make it this whole, like, big emotional thing, but they kind of shit all over it, because literally seconds later, Lara kills, like, 10 other people like it's nothing. Like, she becomes a war machine immediately. Like, I'm genuinely speaking, like, seconds after getting the first kill in this game, and they have this big moment where Lara's really emotional, and then she just becomes Rambo in seconds. It's crazy. But yeah, I did like the way that Lara progressed through the game. Like I said, she slowly gains confidence, and I liked that. I thought that was cool. But yeah, I think my biggest issue I had with this game, and maybe it's nitpicking, but I do feel like it's a big thing, and I do mean big, there was no dual-wielding melons. But yeah, no seriousness though, guys, no dual-wielding pistols, alright? That was like a big thing with Tomb Raider, alright? Even like back in the day, like I said, I didn't really play a lot of the PS1 games, but I always knew that dual-wielding pistols was cool. Literally, I think like there's only one moment in this game where Lara gets dual-wielding pistols, and it's at the end with like a QTE, and I thought that kind of sucks. Like, why would you not have dual-wielding pistols throughout the game? It just would make perfect sense. They did take a couple of liberties with the character here, you know, they changed her quite a lot, and some of the changes I thought, you know, made sense for what they were going for, but yeah, the dual-wielding pistols made no sense. That should have been in this game. Anyway, fellas, I really enjoyed this game. I very much enjoyed coming back to it. Was it as good as I remembered? Yeah, I think it was. I very much enjoyed it back in the day, and I still really liked it. It was a very action-heavy game, but to be honest with you, that's kind of what I like. That's what I look for in games. I want to see violence. I want to see guns. That's my thing. So yeah, I very much enjoyed Tomb Raider Reboot, and I recommend it if you haven't played it. Anyway, boys, that is all of the Tomb Raider games I've been been playing recently. I started with Anniversary, I played that one in February, but yeah, last month I ended up playing all 3 of these games, and I literally finished Reboot the other day. So yeah, really enjoying the Tomb Raider games, and I'm not finished yet, boys. I do want to play some more. So I've taken to Amazon to pick up one of the games, and I'm really excited about this one. So let's get that pull tab open. Let's see which one we picked up. I'm pretty sure most of you guys will know exactly what we've got. So here we go then, fellas. What did we get? We picked up the remastered trilogy, of course. So yeah, I've wanted this game for quite a while now. I've been very tempted to pick it up in CEX, but I do feel like they've overpriced it. It has come down in price a little bit. I think it's £22 now at CEX, but before it was like 30 quid, and you could pick this up online for a lot cheaper. But yeah, I got this one from Amazon, and it was, I want to say £17, which isn't too bad. That's more where I'm at, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing these games. I'm probably gonna start with the first one, but I am tempted to start with Tomb Raider 2. I'm not too sure. Because I've played Anniversary, which of course is like a remake of the first one, I feel like playing the second one would make sense, but I don't know, I just kind of feel like I probably should start with the original, you know? Anyway, I'm looking forward to playing this. I'm not too sure when I'm going to get round to it, because I don't want to burn myself out with Tomb Raiders, so I'll give it a month or two. But yeah, when I eventually get round to it, I'm going to have a good old time with that. Anyway, boys, that is going to do it for today's episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys have got a favourite Tomb Raider, let me know in the comments. If you got a least favourite, let me know that as well. Just let me know anything you want about Tomb Raider. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this game series. But yeah, that's going to do it then, boys. Like the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next one, alright? Peace.